3 days. That is all that stands between Bruno Mars and the return of the Romantic Tour in the United States. On August 21st, 2026, the stadium lights will come back on at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, as Bruno Mars begins the next chapter of his U.S. tour. And this time, the lineup is bringing an extra level of excitement. Anderson Paak is returning as DJ P.We, while RAYE is joining the show as a special guest. So if you thought the European and UK leg was already the biggest moment of the Romantic Tour, the American return could be about to raise the energy even higher. Before we get into what makes this US return so important, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave a comment telling us which Bruno Mars song you are most excited to hear when the Romantic Tour returns to America. Because after everything that happened during the first 2 legs, there is one major question hanging over August 21st. What will Bruno Mars do differently when the stadium doors open again? The countdown is officially on. Bruno Mars' The Romantic Tour has already established itself as one of the most talked about concert tours of 2026. The tour has taken Bruno across massive venues, major cities, and some of the most recognizable stadium stages in the world. From Europe to the United Kingdom, the performances have continued to generate headlines because this is not simply another concert run. It is Bruno Mars returning to the center of the global live music conversation. And now, after the European and UK chapter reached its historic finale at Wembley Stadium in London, the spotlight is moving back across the Atlantic. The destination is East Rutherford, New Jersey. The venue is MetLife Stadium. The date is August 21st, 2026. And the countdown is almost over. 3 days. That number suddenly makes everything feel much more real. For fans who have been following the Romantic Tour since its opening shows, August 21st is not just another date on the schedule. It represents the beginning of the 3rd leg of a massive journey, and it comes after Bruno has had the opportunity to take the production through an entirely different environment. Europe and the UK gave audiences unforgettable stadium moments, emotional performances, surprise appearances, fashion moments, powerful vocal performances, and countless viral clips. Now the US audience gets its turn again. But there is another reason this return is attracting so much attention. Anderson Paak. The man behind one of the most successful musical partnerships of Bruno Mars' career is coming back into the picture, this time performing as DJ P.We. That detail alone is enough to make longtime Bruno Mars fans pay attention. Because when Bruno Mars and Anderson Paak share the same musical universe, audiences naturally start thinking about Silk Sonic. The chemistry between these two artists has already produced one of the most celebrated modern R&B projects, and their history together makes every appearance feel bigger than a normal guest appearance. But there is an important distinction here. Anderson Paak appearing as DJ P.We does not automatically mean a full Silk Sonic reunion is happening. There is no need to turn anticipation into speculation. What we know is already exciting enough. DJ P.We is part of the upcoming US shows, giving fans another opportunity to experience Anderson Paak's unique energy before Bruno Mars takes over the main stage. And that creates a fascinating dynamic. Imagine the atmosphere at MetLife Stadium. Thousands upon thousands of fans entering the venue, the giant screens glowing, the sound system building anticipation, fans wearing Bruno Mars merchandise, holding signs, filming their first moments inside the stadium, and waiting for the lights to drop. Then the music begins. DJ P.We takes the stage. The entire mood changes. The crowd gets louder. The stadium becomes a giant dance floor. And then, eventually, attention turns toward the main event. Bruno Mars. That transition is exactly what makes a stadium concert feel different from simply listening to an album. You are not just hearing the songs. You are watching an entire world being built around them. And Bruno Mars has spent years developing that ability. From his early career hits to the global success of 24K Magic, from Unorthodox Jukebox to Silk Sonic, and now into his latest era with the Romantic, Bruno has consistently shown that his live performances are built around more than vocals. They are built around personality, choreography, musicianship, fashion, stage design, crowd interaction, and timing. Every pause matters. Every camera angle matters. Every lighting change matters. And when Bruno walks onto the stage, the audience already knows what is coming. Or at least they think they do. That is where the mystery begins. Because the Romantic Tour has already shown that Bruno Mars is willing to keep changing the details. Different cities have produced different moments. Different outfits have appeared. Different guests have stepped into the spotlight. Different interactions with fans have gone viral. And now the US leg begins after Bruno has completed the European and UK run. So what happens when that experience comes back home? That is the question fans are waiting to answer. And there is another name that makes the August 21st opening especially interesting. RAYE. The British singer-songwriter has become one of the most recognizable voices in contemporary pop, soul, and R&B. Known for her powerful vocals, emotional songwriting, and ability to move between genres. Her presence on the US leg gives the Romantic Tour another layer of musical variety. Bruno Mars represents one side of modern pop performance. Polished showmanship, timeless funk, R&B, soul, and spectacular live entertainment. RAYE brings something different. Her voice can move from intimate and vulnerable to powerful and dramatic, creating a completely different emotional texture. That contrast could make the concert experience even more dynamic. And this is where the lineup becomes particularly interesting. DJ P.We, RAYE, Bruno Mars. 3 artists with very different identities, coming together under the same massive stadium production. That is not just a concert schedule. It is a carefully constructed night of music. And for fans attending the first US show, there is an additional excitement that cannot be recreated later. They will be the first American audience to experience the next version of the Romantic Tour after its European and UK evolution. Think about that for a moment. The production has traveled thousands of miles. The band has performed night after night. The audience reactions have changed from city to city. Bruno has had months of experience with the show. Now that experience comes back to the United States. And that could mean a more confident, sharper, more refined performance. This is one of the biggest reasons the August 21st show matters. The first show of a tour is always special. But the first show of a new leg after dozens of performances can be something completely different. The performers already know the show. The production already knows the rhythm. The musicians have lived inside these songs night after night. The difference is that the environment changes. And Bruno Mars thrives in that environment. He knows how to read a crowd. He knows when to slow down. He knows when to let the band take over. He knows when to make a joke. He knows when to look directly into the camera. And he knows exactly how to create the moment that fans will still be talking about the next morning. That ability is one of the reasons Bruno Mars remains one of the biggest live performers in the world. But there is something even more important about this US return. It comes after a major stretch of the tour that has already generated historic moments. The European and UK leg was filled with massive stadium performances, including major shows in Madrid, Milan, and London. Wembley Stadium became one of the most important locations of the entire tour. Bruno's Wembley run became a major chapter in the Romantic Tour story, and the final night represented the end of an enormous European journey. Now the story moves back to America, and this is where the timeline becomes fascinating. The Romantic Tour is not simply continuing. It is entering another phase, a new audience, a new set of stadiums, a new sequence of performances, new opportunities for viral moments, and potentially new surprises. That is why fans are already watching the calendar. August 21st, MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. The countdown is almost complete, but there is another factor that could make this US return especially emotional. Bruno Mars is coming back to American stadium audiences after spending weeks performing internationally. That means the atmosphere could be different. American fans have been watching clips from Europe and the UK online. They have seen the outfits, the performances, the crowd reactions, the guest appearances, and the viral moments. They have watched other fans experience the show. Now they get to experience it themselves. and that creates a unique kind of anticipation. You know what the show looks like. You have seen the videos. You know the songs. You recognize the stage. But you still do not know exactly what it will feel like when thousands of people around you start singing the same Bruno Mars lyrics at the same time. That is the difference between watching a concert online and being inside the stadium. A phone screen cannot reproduce the pressure of the bass, cannot reproduce the crowd screaming before the first note, cannot capture the silence that happens immediately before a superstar appears. And it certainly cannot recreate the moment Bruno Mars looks across an entire stadium and realizes that the crowd knows every word. That is the experience waiting in New Jersey. And the timing could not be more perfect. 3 days from now, the countdown ends. The Romantic Tour returns. The U.S. chapter begins. But stay with us, because there is one more detail that makes this comeback particularly interesting. Bruno Mars is entering this leg with a completely different level of momentum than when the tour first began. His name has continued to dominate conversations around global pop music, streaming, live performances, collaborations, and major music events. His catalog continues to attract new listeners while longtime fans remain deeply connected to the songs that defined different eras of his career. That combination is powerful. New fans are discovering Bruno Mars. Older fans are returning, and everyone is meeting at the same stadium. That is what makes a Bruno Mars concert so difficult to categorize. It can feel like a modern pop concert. Then suddenly it becomes a funk show, then R&B, then soul, then a massive sing-along, then a dance party. And somehow all of those identities exist within the same performance. That versatility is one of Bruno's greatest strengths. And it is also one of the reasons the Romantic Tour has become such a major event. The title itself suggests romance, but the show is much larger than a single mood. It is about nostalgia. It is about celebration. It is about musicianship. It is about bringing classic sounds into a modern stadium environment. And it is about reminding audiences why live music still matters. Now zoom in on August 21st. The opening moments will be watched closely. How will Bruno enter? Which song will open the show? Will there be any changes to the set list? Will the production look different? Will RAYE appear in a special moment? Will DJ P. We create an unexpected transition? Will Bruno introduce any new surprises after the European leg? These are the questions fans will be asking. And until that stadium lights up, nobody can know exactly what the night will bring. That uncertainty is part of the excitement, because the best concert moments are often the ones nobody planned for. Fan reaction, a spontaneous joke, a musical improvisation, a surprise interaction, a completely unexpected camera moment. One small detail can become the biggest viral clip of the night. And with Bruno Mars, those moments happen frequently enough that fans have learned to keep their cameras ready. But the biggest payoff may not be a surprise at all. It may simply be Bruno Mars standing on that stage again. After Europe, after Wembley, after the long journey, after the international headlines, he returns to the United States, and the crowd gets to say once again, welcome back. There is something symbolic about that. The Romantic Tour began as a new chapter in Bruno Mars' career. Now it is becoming something much bigger. A global live experience that continues to evolve from city to city. And August 21st marks another major turning point. MetLife Stadium is not just another stop. It is the doorway into Leg 3. The U.S. shows are back. DJ P. We is ready. RAYE is ready. Bruno Mars is ready. And the fans have been waiting. 3 days. That is it. So if you are a Bruno Mars fan, this is the moment to start paying attention. Follow the latest updates from the Romantic Tour. Watch for rehearsal footage. Watch for fan reactions. Watch for the set list. Watch for the opening night clips. And most importantly, watch what happens when Bruno Mars walks back onto an American stadium stage. Because the next chapter is about to begin. On August 21st, 2026, MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford will become the center of the Bruno Mars universe once again. The lights will go down. The crowd will erupt. DJ P. We will bring the energy. RAYE will bring her voice. And then Bruno Mars will step into the spotlight. The Romantic Tour is back in America. Leg 3 starts now. And after everything that happened in Europe and the United Kingdom, the real question is no longer whether Bruno Mars can deliver another unforgettable stadium show. We already know he can. The question is what unforgettable moment comes next. 3 days from now, we find out. If you are excited for Bruno Mars' return to the United States, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and join the conversation. Tell us where you are watching from and which song you absolutely need to hear on the Romantic Tour. Because the countdown has officially begun. August 21st, MetLife Stadium, Bruno Mars, DJ P. RAYE, the Romantic Tour, Leg 3. 3 days to go. And the next chapter is about to light up the stadium. And while the countdown to August 21st continues, there is another reason this return to the United States deserves attention. The Romantic Tour has already proven that Bruno Mars understands something many artists struggle to master: how to make a stadium feel personal. A stadium can hold tens of thousands of people, but Bruno has a way of making individual fans feel like they are part of the performance. That connection has become one of the defining elements of his live shows. And that is exactly what makes MetLife Stadium such an interesting setting. This is not a small theater. This is a massive stadium. The audience will stretch far beyond the main stage, with thousands of fans watching from different sections and different distances. Yet Bruno's performance style is built to reach every corner. The lights, the cameras, the band, the choreography, the giant screens, the crowd interaction. Everything works together to turn a huge venue into one shared experience. And there is something poetic about the U.S. leg beginning in New Jersey. Bruno Mars has spent years building a career that connects generations. His music can appeal to longtime R&B listeners, pop fans, younger audiences discovering his catalog for the first time, and fans who simply love the energy of a great live show. That means the audience at MetLife Stadium could be incredibly diverse. Some fans will have followed Bruno since Just the Way You Are. Others will have grown up with Locked Out of Heaven, When I Was Your Man, or Uptown Funk. Some will associate him with the 24K Magic era. Others will know him primarily through Silk Sonic. And now, a new generation is discovering the music of the Romantic era. Different generations, different favorite songs, different memories. One stadium, one night. That is the power of a major Bruno Mars concert. But there is another element that cannot be ignored: the band. Bruno Mars has always been recognized not only as a vocalist and performer, but as a musician who understands arrangements, rhythm, harmony, and live instrumentation. That is why his concerts often feel different from heavily programmed pop performances. The musicians are part of the spectacle. The grooves matter. The transitions matter. The pauses matter. Even the smallest musical change can completely alter the energy of a song. And when tens of thousands of people respond to that groove simultaneously, the atmosphere can become almost impossible to describe. This is why fans often say that seeing Bruno Mars live is different from simply listening to Bruno Mars on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, or any other streaming platform. The recording gives you the song. The concert gives you the moment. And moments are exactly what the Romantic Tour has been creating throughout 2026. Now the U.S. leg gets the opportunity to create its own moments. One of those moments could come from RAYE. Her inclusion is particularly intriguing because she brings a strong live performance identity of her own. RAYE has become known for combining pop, jazz, soul, R&B, and deeply personal songwriting. Her vocal delivery can be intimate one moment and explosive the next. That gives the opening nights of the U.S. leg another layer of anticipation. Fans are not simply asking what Bruno will perform. They are also wondering how the supporting performances will shape the entire atmosphere of the night. And then there is Anderson Paak. DJ P. We brings a completely different kind of energy. His presence creates a bridge between the worlds of hip-hop, funk, soul, R&B, and dance music. For Bruno Mars fans, that connection is especially meaningful because of the artist's history. Bruno and Anderson Paak already demonstrated how naturally their musical styles can complement each other through Silk Sonic. But once again, it is important not to confuse anticipation with confirmation. The presence of Anderson Paak as DJ does not confirm a new Silk Sonic performance or reunion. What it does confirm is that fans attending the U.S. shows will have another major artist bringing energy to the night. And honestly, that is enough to make the lineup exciting. Now imagine the sequence. The audience enters. The stadium begins filling. Merchandise lines get longer. Fans take photos. Social media starts filling with videos from outside the venue. The closer the show gets, the louder the anticipation becomes. Then the opening music starts. DJ P. takes over. The stadium responds. RAYE brings her performance. The crowd becomes even more energized. And eventually, there is a pause. The lights begin to change. The screens go dark. The noise gets louder. Everyone knows what is coming. Then Bruno Mars appears. That moment alone could become one of the most replayed clips from the first U.S. show. Because opening night always carries a special emotional weight. The artist knows it. The band knows it. The audience knows it. And the cameras know it. Every reaction suddenly matters. Every song becomes a potential viral moment. Every outfit can become a headline. Every interaction can become a social media trend. This is how modern concert culture works. The show does not end when the final song is played. Continues online. Clips spread across TikTok. Fans post reactions on X. Instagram fills with concert photos. YouTube receives fan-recorded performances. Entertainment outlets begin discussing the biggest moments. And by the next morning, people who were not even inside MetLife Stadium are talking about what happened. That is the modern life cycle of a Bruno Mars concert. And the Romantic Tour has already experienced this phenomenon repeatedly. The U.S. return could amplify it even further. There is also a larger story happening here. Bruno Mars is not simply touring behind one isolated hit. He is performing from a catalog that has become part of global pop culture. Songs like Just the Way You Are, Grenade, Locked Out of Heaven, Treasure, When I Was Your Man, 24K Magic, That's What I Like, and Leave the Door Open represent different chapters of his career. Each song carries its own audience memory. That is a major advantage for an artist performing a stadium tour. There is no shortage of recognizable material. A Bruno Mars setlist can move between eras without losing the audience. One song can remind fans of the early 2010s. The next can bring them into the 24K Magic era. Another can take them into Silk Sonic territory. And the newest material represents where Bruno Mars is heading now. That is why the Romantic Tour feels like both a celebration of the past and a statement about the future. And perhaps that is the most interesting part of this entire U.S. return. Bruno Mars has nothing left to prove. He has already sold millions of records. He has already collected major awards. He has already performed on some of the world's biggest stages. He has already become one of the defining performers of his generation. So when he walks onto MetLife Stadium, the pressure is different. He is not trying to convince people that he belongs there. He is showing them why he belongs there. That confidence can completely change a performance. The artist is no longer chasing recognition. The artist is commanding the stage. And Bruno's reputation as a live performer gives him the freedom to focus on what really matters. Creating a memorable night. That is the real story behind August 21st. Not simply another concert date, not simply another stadium, but the beginning of another chapter in one of the biggest live music stories of 2026. And there is still one question that fans cannot answer until the lights go down. What will Bruno change? Will the U.S. leg feature subtle changes to the production? Will there be new transitions? Will certain songs receive different arrangements? Will the set list evolve? Will the special guests create unexpected moments? Nobody should assume something will happen before it is officially confirmed. But that uncertainty is exactly what keeps fans watching. The first night of a new leg can reveal changes that no teaser can fully explain. And when the artist is Bruno Mars, even a small change can become a major talking point. A different entrance, a new outfit, a different musical intro, a new interaction, a surprise arrangement. Something that lasts only a few seconds can become the moment everyone remembers. That is why the first U.S. show matters so much. It establishes the tone. It tells fans what Leg 3 is going to feel like. And it gives everyone watching from home the first glimpse of what is coming next. So the countdown continues. 2 days. Then 1. Then the final hours. And suddenly, the waiting is over. The doors open. The crowd enters. The stadium fills. And the lights eventually disappear. For fans who have been following every stop of the Romantic Tour, it will feel like the beginning of something new. For fans seeing Bruno Mars live for the first time, it could become one of the biggest concert memories of their lives. And for Bruno himself, it is another opportunity to step onto a massive stage and do what he has always done best. Perform. Sing. Dance. Play. Connect. And entertain. No matter how many times fans have watched the clips online, there is still nothing quite like the first moment of seeing Bruno Mars live in front of a packed stadium. That is what MetLife Stadium is waiting for. That is what the fans are waiting for. And that is why August 21st is becoming one of the most anticipated dates on the Bruno Mars calendar. The Romantic Tour is returning to the United States. DJ P.We is part of the lineup. RAYE is joining the experience. And Bruno Mars is ready to take the stage again. 3 days may sound like a short amount of time, but for fans waiting for a concert they have been anticipating for months, 3 days can feel like an eternity. The countdown is almost finished, and once the stadium lights go down, there will be no more countdown, no more waiting, no more speculation, only the music, only the crowd, only the stage, and Bruno Mars. The U.S. chapter of the Romantic Tour is about to begin.